I'm gonna go ahead and start recording this class just so in case students are absent and they want to see what happened. I do give out my contact information. So I have a bachelor's in math. I went to UNT. This is my ACES email, everyone. A Pacheco 59. You don't have to email me through ACES. You can email me through Canvas. But if you are curious about grades, let's say at the end of the semester, you want to know what your final grade is, don't send me an email through ACES because I cannot respond to you about your grade. You'll have to go through Canvas, open a message, and be like, Mr. Pacheco, I would like to know what I have. I do give out my cell phone number so far just because it's hard for me to access my ACES email and my Canvas email. Like in order for me to see those two is I have to get on my computer, and let's say I'm out running errands, getting groceries, or doing something else, and I don't see the email. I do give out my cell phone number. You guys are welcome to save it on your phone as Mr. Pacheco, and you can put like math professor or whatever. When you do contact me, if it's an email, I can find out your first and last name. But if it's a text me your full name. I would like to know all my students by names, but it's hard for me to know if I'm not really engaging with you guys on campus and stuff. Virtual is not bad, but it's hard to build those relations. Materials, guys, the textbook is optional here. It's not required, but you do get the book available online. You don't have to buy the hard text. I don't recommend to buy the hard text. We are going to be doing the homework on my math lab online, which I'll be giving you access probably either not today, but if not today during class, I will send emails out with steps of how to get access to my math lab. So my math lab is where all the online homework assignments will be and all the tests will be. So it's important that we all get access to it by this week. Now here are some miscellaneous materials I recommend. I recommend y'all getting a ruler. We are going to be making lines in this and graphs in this class, so it'll be very important for you guys to have a straight edge. Second, I know I have spiral notebook once, but I do recommend two notebooks for this class. One notebook will be purely for your lecture notes that we do in class that I teach. And then the second notebook will be for you to do all your paper, your work, for all your homework, all your work for your tests, all your work for everything. Because then students will come to me for tutoring and they'll be like, sir, just look at this problem for homework. I did it and I got it wrong. Can you tell me why? And I'll be able to see that, and they'll be organized. So try to be organized as best as possible and as early as possible. Simple four function calculator, guys. You know those calculators that only have plus, minus, times, division? That's what calculator that a simple four function calculator does. As the four operations, as I do not want you to, when we move to class or move to campus in February, I don't want you guys to have to use your cell phone calculator to do math. Just because whenever we're on tests and stuff, let's say we're on campus and we're taking a quiz, you can't use your calculator for your calculator for your phone, because what if I think you're cheating using an app, So you do want to get like a real. I'll try to find some and take some to class to let y'all borrow during class, but I recommend getting some. If anyone finds a calculator for cheap somewhere, whether it be Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, or wherever y'all go, email me or text me, say, hey sir, I went shopping for my supplies and I saw a calculator for this much. Send me a picture, price, and I would love to share it to the class. My philosophy that I carry as a teacher and as a person is teamwork makes the dream work. Um, I do have allergies, so excuse my stuffiness. Outcomes are pretty much what are you going to be able to learn to do after this class is over. Now, evaluation is one of the last parts I'm going to discuss. So evaluation is pretty much how are you being evaluated in this class? What is going to be your grade and how are you going to get it? So there's four components, four categories. The first category is attendance. For you coming to class every day from now to May, every time coming to class, you get points. You get a grade. You get 100 every time you come to class. So at the end of the end of the semester, you get 10% of the average. So let's say you come to class every day, you'll get 10 points towards your final grade for the class. Now, if you fail to attend the first two classes, you will be dropped. Now, there is an attendance policy for this at Palo Alto. That means you can only miss 5 times. After six, once you miss 6 times in a 16-week course, you will be dropped for excessive absences. If you're late, you cannot be late more than an hour because it is a 2-hour class. If you come late after an hour has passed, you will not get credit for your attendance. You have to be there for more than an hour. Homework, guys. Homework average is 15% of your total course grade. There is about 25 homework assignments. I am going to be dropping the 5 lowest assignments. Now, I wanted to do this last semester, but I wasn't able to since I didn't put it on my syllabus. But since this is 16 weeks, you should be fine with doing all your assignments. I'm just doing this. So let's say Damien has an 87 in this class and he's doing really well, but 87 is the best he was able to do. Well, I'm going to be dropping 5 low assignments. So hopefully those 5 low assignments, we're bringing them down. He'll go to an A, hopefully, kind of thing. So I do this because when I was a college student freshman year, my professors were very lenient and they dropped low assignments and low test grades to help out the students' grades. And I am going to be dropping 1 test grade. So for the major test average, we'll be taking test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the final. So there's 6 exams in this class throughout the 16 weeks, 6 exams. I will be dropping one of the lowest 5. I will not be dropping the final. And the finals were 25% of your grade. If you look at the course grading scale, you're only up to getting an A, B, or C. Now, there's a great question in the chat. It said, if we were to get COVID, which I hope we don't, would the 6 absences be counted against us? So when you get COVID, and these are not my guidelines, guys. These are the CDC's guidelines. You are allowed to quarantine for 5 days. And after 5 days, if you're not showing symptoms, you're allowed to come back to campus as long as you're wearing a mask around everyone else. Now, let's say you're still showing symptoms after 5 days. My best friend's wife got COVID and she's had symptoms for 2 weeks now. And so when I found out that she's been having COVID for 2 weeks, she hasn't been working for 2 weeks. So for me, if you're still showing symptoms after the 5 days, and you need to be out more, I feel like every absence you have from COVID, I will excuse it. I personally, as your professor, now, just because I'm saying this doesn't mean your English professor will do the same. Doesn't mean that your accounting professor will be the same. This is just me speaking on my behalf. I think that's a great question. I have gotten COVID twice, and it's not fun. So I would definitely be very understanding. Now, I would hope you wouldn't let COVID stop you completely and that you'll be able to try to work through the assignments and the lectures. If I have videos, I would hope you will try to stay on top of it as best you can, obviously, right? I wouldn't want you to do anything if you're dying. Like not dying, but like if you're not feeling really too well. That's a great question. Thank you. Um, So yeah, so you can only get an A, B, or C. There's no D's in this class. The only reason why there's no D in this class is because uh, if you get a 60 in this class, it will not give you credit for the next class. So a lot of you guys are in this class because you need this in order for you to take college algebra or another math class. And so it's very important that everyone here gets a C or higher, which is very much possible because only 6 students failed last semester, and as only because they didn't put in any work into their assignments. They said they understood the materials, they felt confident in them, they just didn't have the time to do them. So I urge everyone, since the semester is starting, guys, and if you have jobs, responsibilities, I expect you guys to speak to your family and your friends and your significant others and your children, your family, and be like, hey, I'm in school now. I'm gonna be putting some time away for this, and you need to learn how to balance everything. And this is gonna be it's not easy, but it is possible. You just gotta put in the effort and the work. We are going to cover these sections throughout these weeks, guys. Since I am missing a day, I am going to have to catch up with the other sections. So the first few classes are going to be kind of heavy with lessons, only because we only see each other today. And I was supposed to cover 3 sections Monday and Wednesday. But Monday we were out because of MOK, which I'm not complaining, right? It's just the truth. All right. And then I'm not gonna read institutional policies. That's just pretty much like what what the policies are for Palo Alto. So if you want to look up excessive absences, you want to look up early alerts, look up pretty much your rights. Because as a student, guys, you guys have a policy y'all can use to your favor in case a professor tries to mistreat you or disrespect you, or you know what I mean. You want to understand what you are eligible for, right? What your rights are. But based off of the first part of the syllabus class, are there any questions, comments, or concerns regarding this class? Now I know it's hard for you to think of these questions, on the spot. So if y'all think of any questions that y'all want to ask me during class, feel free to put it in the chat, either for everyone to see or just directed towards me. But yeah, all right, guys, let's get our notebooks out and let's get started. Now, for those of you that came in late, guys, I do give out my email for ACES and my cell phone number. So it's right here on the presentation if you guys want to take advantage of that. All right, ready for the first section, guys? Here we are. I'm gonna give you about 2 minutes on the timer to write this slide into your journal. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. If y'all need more than 2 minutes after the 2 minute timer, you can be like, sir, can I get more time, please? And I will ask how much more you need. So for those of you that just logged on, please have your notebooks ready, guys. You only need one notebook for now, but you will need a second notebook once we start the online assignments. The first question is 1.7, exponents and order of operations. Did I make your copy? All right, guys. Does anyone need more time to write this slide down? All right. Thank you, Noel. Everyone else is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it a little bit. Um, Okay, guys, so let's look at the definition. So when you see the word DEF, guys, so I'm gonna prepare you guys for college math. So the way I've structured this class is to kind of give you a pathway to how math is written, to how math is shown, and this is the way my math classes were set up when I was at UNT. So whenever you see the word DEF, guys, DEF is short for definition. So the definition of the word exponent is a shorthand notation to write repeated multiplication. So here we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 5 times equals 3 to the 5th power, where 3 is the base of an exponent and the 5 is an exponent or power. We can say either one. Exponent is kind of the more college term, and power is kind of like the elementary term from like middle school and high school. Now, if you see look at this chart that I put on here for you guys. When you see 5, 2, or it's not, that's not how you say it, 5, 2, or 5 times 2. And words, this you pronounce it as 5 to the 2nd power or 5 squared. There's the 2 different ways you can write it as. So 5, 5, and then the exponent, whatever the exponent is, this one's a 2, it'll be to the 2nd power or 5 squared. When we get to the other one, we have 5 here again, but now the exponent is no longer 2, it's now 3. So the 5 to the 3rd power or 5 cubed. And then 5 right here, we still have 5, but now the exponent is getting bigger. It's now 4, so it'll be 5 to the 4th power. So pretty much as the exponents get bigger, the way you say it is a little different, right, guys? So let's see who can volunteer and tell me how would you pronounce this here? That's a 9, by the way. How would you read this out loud? There's 2 different ways to read this class, and anyone can, as long as one person unmutes and reads it to me, I'll move on.
9 to the 2nd power.
That is correct, 9 to the 2nd power. Is there an alternative way we can say this one? If we don't want to say 9 to the 2nd power, does anyone knows what else we could say?
9 squared.
9 squared, that is correct. Now check out this bad boy. What can we say here for this next one?
Eight to the 3rd power.
Excellent. 8 to the 3rd power, you're correct. Now, is there another way we could say this one? Is it only going to be 8 to the 3rd power, or is there another alternative class? What do you have?
8 cubed.
8 cubed. That is correct. It's very important that you guys understand how to read math. Reading math is part of doing math. Now, after the third power or cube is now fourth, right? So that'll be 5 to the fourth power. Or what about this power here? Could someone tell me what this one, how they would read this one? How would you read this one here? There's only one way to read this one.
Would it be 10 to the sixth power?
That is correct. Good job, good job. It is very important that you can read any number with any base with any exponent, guys. It's very important in math. So now look at this last note that I wrote for us in this bottom slide. Note, an exponent of 1 is never written. So any number or variable by itself has an exponent of 1. Like for example, if the number 7 was by itself, it's actually 7 to the 1 power. Or to the first power. But we never really had to say that. We never had to write it or say it. Okay, but I want you to know intuitively, mathematically, that if there's a number by itself there, it's going to have an exponent 1. Is that understood?
Yes.
Excellent. Here's our first 4 examples for today, guys. So go ahead and write the first 4 examples, right, using exponential notation. We're doing the first half. Now, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I do structure my class a lot differently than other professors do. I'm hoping they do what I do, but I cannot speak on their behalf. Really, so the way I teach this class, guys, is I make it interactive, which means in the lesson I give examples the way I teach it, and then I give you practice problems for you to work out to see if you understood what I said or how I taught it. Okay. So I'll give you 2 minutes to set up the examples in your notebook. 2 minutes. So the 2 minute timer starts now, and I'll go ahead and I'll work out the examples. Come on. Now, if you ever feel confident enough to be like, I can do this example without Pacheco, then do it. Do it. But if you're using Pluma, if you're a pen user, take it easy, all right? Take it easy jumping ahead, because I would hate to see you scratch out your math work if you made a mistake, okay? Pencils are encouraged in this class. I need to be careful. Do I have any pen lovers in this class that love to use pen for all their notes, no matter what class it is?
I
No.
do.
You do? Ah, nice, Noel. Nice. You know there's pens that erase, dude? Did you know that?
Yeah, those are my favorite.
Dude, yeah, they're kind of my favorite too, but they're low-key expensive. I feel you. That's me. I one time asked this girl in college for her pin, and it was an erasable pin, and I stole it. I snuck out of class and didn't give it back to her. But I didn't think about it. I was gonna see her the next class, and she confronts me. Hey, you took my pen last class. Can I have it back? I was like, oh yeah, my bad. I forgot. I didn't forget. I just like got addicted to it. And then I went to go buy them, but they were so expensive. I was like, oh my god, the struggle's real. But all right, I just admitted to y'all. Oh my god, I'm recording myself. I hope no one judges me for being a pen stealer in college. Okay. All right, guys. Oh, I just burned myself a coffee. It burned so good. Okay. All right. That was the timer. I'm going to go ahead and get started on working out the problem. Let me just clean up this coffee I burned myself with. Give me a second. Okay. So examples 1, 7 times 7 times 7. They want us to write it in exponential notation, which means they want us to write a base and they want us to write an exponent. So the way you do it is, I'm gonna do the first example, and then after that, we'd like some volunteers. So the first one, the base is gonna be 7, and since there's 3 of them, it's 7 cubed. And we're done. And that's how example 1 is. Is there a volunteer for example 2 for 3 times 3? How would you write that as an exponent? Any volunteers?
3 square.
That is correct, sir. Good job. It's getting a little trickier now. Number 3. Any volunteers for number 3? Don't be shy, guys. Even if you get it wrong, I can correct you. You're not, it's better to, you don't get any points taken off for saying a wrong answer during class.
Would it be 6 to the power of 5?
Ooh, yes, it will be. Let's find out. Yes, it is. Good job, good job. Now, the last one's a little tricky because how many bases? How many 2 different bases? I already said this. How many? There's 2 different bases. Any volunteers for number 4?
I'm gonna go again. So it would be 3 to the power of 4 plus 9 to the power of 3.
Ooh, so you got
It'd
the
be
2 notations right.
times 9 to the power of 3.
Times. There
Okay.
you go. Because that dot, you remember how that dot means multiplication? It stays there, okay? You see that? So when you write out your answer, please make sure the dot is there so you can be like, okay, yeah, they're still being multiplied even though they're different bases. Do you see, does that make sense? All right, and that was your first example for math, guys, that I taught you. Now you get your own practice set problems, guys. So practice 1 through 4, right? So now there's 4 examples that you do. Now I'm not gonna do unless you ask me to. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to do those practice problems, starting now. Good luck, class. You may unmute to ask me questions. You may unmute to ask each other questions. You can type in the chat. What other classes I've done in the past, they'll be like, hey, for number 1, I got this. What did everyone else get? And then blah, blah, blah. People will agree, disagree. It gets pretty intense. But I want y'all to know, not like intense where you're gonna fight each other, but like just like we're just, discussing. So yeah, working on those 4 practice problems, guys, and then you guys gonna have to tell me the answers where it's comfortable enough to share. Less than a minute. And that's how I box my final answers, class. I would like y'all to make that a habit now. Whenever you do your math work, after you write the problem and you have an answer, always box your final answer. Unless like your answer is like a paragraph, like don't box a paragraph. All right, that was a timer for those practice problems. Do I have a volunteer to tell me what answer they got for number 1?
It's 8 with the 4 over. What's it called again?
Yeah, you gotta remember, look at your notes. How do you say it? 8 to the what?
8 to
Did you write this table down, Damien? I put it on the slide.
I forgot to get that down. Oh, I got 8 to the 4th power.
8 to the 4th power. All right, good job. Does anyone agree or disagree with Damien? Anyone, if you got the same thing as Damien, put agree in the chat or just unmute yourself and say agree.
Agree.
Excellent.
Agree.
Good. All right, good. Glad that he was not alone. Do I have any volunteers for number 2?
Three cubed.
3 cubed. Does anyone agree or disagree with 3 cubed before a box? Look in the chat. Yeah, we have some people agreeing. Excellent. You are correct on number 2. Now, any volunteers for number 3? What they got for number 3? If no volunteers, I will call on random students, guys. So I'd rather y'all take ownership and volunteer, because I would hate to call on someone who doesn't have it. So
10 to the 5th power.
10 to the 5th power. Does anyone agree or disagree with 10 to the 5th power?
Agree.
Excellent. Now the last one, who's bold and brave for the last one?
Five to the 2nd power times 4 to the
Excellent. What was the last one? 4 to the what?
6th power.
Excellent, Timothy. Excellent. Anyone agree or disagree with Timothy?
Agree.
Excellent. All right. So everyone feel comfortable writing in exponential notation, guys. What questions do we have so far? Now, Damien, I am gonna email these slides out, so I recommend please write this chart in your notebook when I email out those slides. That way you can understand how to pronounce them, because your professors and the other math classes you take after mine, they're gonna expect you to know how to read and write math, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, let's move on. All right, here's the next set of examples. I'm gonna give y'all 2 minutes to set this up into your notebook. Examples 5 through 8. 2 minutes. Now begin working them out. So we're gonna evaluate, right? Now, what evaluate means, guys, there's a word that sticks out in the word evaluate, and it's value. Value means there's a number, a quantity associated with it. Like, for example, let's say I have a piggy bank and I would say, hey, can you evaluate this piggy bank and tell me where I'm at? And you would pretty much take out all the stuff in that piggy bank and count it and give me a value. Tell me, hey, there's this much in here. That's what evaluate means. That we're asking you for a value. So my timer's almost up. Then I'll begin. So look at number 5. Number 5. How do y'all read number 5 out loud?
9 squared.
9 squared. 9 squared. So remember, we know exponential notation is repeated multiplication. So 9 squared is the same as what, class? 9 squared is the same
9
as
times 9.
9 times 9. And now I want you to understand something. Just because you're in college class does not mean that I expect you to be human calculators. So if you don't know what 9 times 9 is in your head, use that calculator. Ain't no one gonna judge you here, okay? Now you can use your phone because we're not in person. I can't see you, so I ain't gonna judge if you're using your phone calculator. But remember, by 2 weeks from now, I want you to know we may not have that privilege. So 9 times 9 is just what? 81. And we're done. Being able to understand what that 9 squared is 81 is math. Can you break it down? Now let's look at number 6. It's 6 to the first power, right? Well, remember, 1 is always invisible. So 6 to the 1 is the same thing as what number, class? Can anyone guess?
Six.
Thank you, 6. That is correct. Can someone read example 7 out loud for the class to read? What's number 7? How do you read that?
So it'll be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3
Yes.
equals 12. Oh,
Oh, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. You said 12, right, Tim? Let's break it down. Let's do one at a time. What's 3 times 3, Tim?
oh, sorry, I was on mute. That would be 9.
9, and then we times it another 3, right? What's 9 times 3?
3 times 3 would be 9 again.
Well,
Well,
remember, these
okay.
3's is 9, right? You with me?
Yes.
And then we did another 3, right? So we did 3 times 3 is 9, right? 9 times 3 is what?
9 times 3. It would be shit.
Use your calculator. Sir.
27.
27, good. So that's 3 3's is 27, right? But we're gonna do one more 3. So do 27 times 3 again.
81.
81. And that should be 81. Remember, you said 12 at first. I know you probably made a mistake, but do you see how it's 81 and not 12, Tim? You good?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. The last one is 5 times 6 squared. So we have 1 5. How many 6's should we have? Because it's 6 squared. Class? How many 6's should be repeated?
2.
Two.
That's correct.
2.
That is correct. Yes, say it for the people in the back. Okay, now we multiply. 5 times 6, y'all. What's 5 times 6? 30, right? 30 times 6, anyone? What is the answer? Ooh,
180.
180. Excellent. Y'all ready for your next set of practice problems? Are there any questions before you work these 4 on your own? Are there any questions on the examples before you work these practice problems? All right, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to work these practice problems, guys. Good luck. All right, that was the timer for the practice problems, guys. Do have a volunteer to tell me what they got for the evaluation for 4 squared for number 5.
It's 4 times 4,
Good. Which gives you what?
16.
Does anyone agree or disagree with Damien? Remember, you can unmute yourself. You can type it in the chat. You got 16 for number 5.
Agree.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. We'll do have a volunteer for number 6. 7. How do you pronounce this? How do you read number 6? Any volunteers?
7 cube.
Good. And then how would you evaluate it?
7 times 7 times 7.
Okay, good. Now, you want to finish this one off?
I got 343.
343. Does anyone agree or disagree with Genevieve?
Agree.
Excellent. Looking good, guys. Looking good. Number 7. Ooh, that's a little trickster. Anyone want to tell me what they think about number 7? Excellent, excellent, excellent. 11 equals 11. And now number 8. Anyone get something else? Anyone get something for number 8?
It's 2 times 3 times 3.
2 times 3 times 3. Okay, let me write that down. Equals 2 times 3 times 3. Okay, and then when you multiply that, what did you get?
18.
18. Did anyone agree or disagree with, with 18? I think I saw
Agree.
someone put in the chat something. Okay, I have 2 people agreeing. I have 3 people agreeing. And then I have Nicholas got 36. Do you see how we got 18, Nicholas? Because it's 2 times 3 is 6, and then 6 times 3 is 18. And that's all 3 numbers. Are you good with 18 now? Excellent. Now, it is okay to make mistakes, guys, in math. Like, it is okay to make mistakes in life, okay? But the biggest thing about making these mistakes is you want to learn from them. Like, oh, I got the wrong answer. Why? That's why. Okay, I won't make that mistake again. I'm good. You know, it's about catching yourself and working on yourself. Any questions on evaluating exponents, guys? Any questions? So far, so good? All right. Now here's the second component of the lesson. So we'll be covering order of operations. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to write these steps down and examples A and B. 3 minutes, and then we'll get started. Good luck. All right, anyone need more time writing down these steps, guys? Anyone need more time? Last call. Anyone need more time before I begin working them out? Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. After this part of the lesson, guys, you know those memes that have been like surfacing around social media? What's the answer? And it'll be like 1 + 4 divided by 2 times 6. And there's people saying, it's 1, it's 9, it's 1. And well, after today's lesson, you'll be able to figure out the answer and tell people and put people in their place. So this is what order of operations is. So step 1. So yes, it's PEMDAS, right? One of my students from other class yesterday was like, isn't this just PEMDAS, sir? I'm like, just PEMDAS? Yeah, I guess it is just PEMDAS. Yeah, but it looks so much harder the way you wrote it. I'm like, well, I'm explaining the steps. That was pretty funny. All right, number 1, parentheses. Simplify the inside of any grouping symbols. Now, are parentheses the only grouping symbols we have? No, we have parentheses, we have brackets, and we have curly brackets. I want you to write all 3 of these grouping symbols next to the P, the first step. Step 2, exponents. Evaluate any exponents. Do we know how to evaluate exponents? Yes, we do. So step 2, we're good. Step 3, we're gonna multiply and divide from left to right. And then, so whichever one comes first. So you're gonna write a parentheses, whichever comes first. This statement should help us with the confusion, because I noticed when I did this lecture yesterday, there's a lot of confusion of which operation we do first. All right, let's look at example A and B. A and B. Notice how I put PEMDAS right here. I made this into a checklist, guys. Check how I do it. Look at example A. Are there any parentheses for me to simplify? Yes or no? No, there isn't. So we're done with P. So check mark. Are there any exponents in A? No.
No.
So we're done. So now we're gonna multiply or divide from left to right. So I'm gonna draw an arrow from left to right. So what's this symbol here? What operation is going on with the 2 and the 4? They're being what? Multiply. What's 2 times 4, class?
8.
It's 8. So once we do 2 times 4 is 8, bring down everything else. So now, do we have any more multiplication or division in this line? Any more? Yeah, we have this division problem. We have 3 divided by 3. Can someone tell me what 3 divided by 3 is? It's 1. So then we get 8 minus 1. So now we did all multiplication and division. So the final step we have to do is add and subtract from left to right. But here we just have to subtract 8 minus 1. 8 minus 1 is 7, and we are done. And that is how we do PEMDAS. But notice how it was very simple because there wasn't that many operations. It gets a little more trickier the more numbers and operations we have. But we cannot freak out because we have this checklist. Is everyone ready for me to move on to B? B is right here. All right, so ready, I'm gonna do B. P, are there any parentheses for us to simplify? No, so we're done with P. Class, is there any exponents that I have to evaluate? Yeah, I have 4 squared. Can someone tell me what 4 squared is?
4 times 4.
Yep, which is 16. And then I'm gonna bring down everything else. Notice how I bring down everything else the same. I just evaluated that part. So now we're done with exponents. Now we're gonna multiply or divide from left to right. So class, am I gonna do 16 divided by 2 first? Or am I gonna do 2 times 4 first? I'm not
2
16
times 4.
divided by 2.
16 divided by 2. Excellent. Because it's more to the left. And then 16 divided by 2 is 8. Bring down the times 4. And I'm going to finish it off with those two. What's 8 times 4? I believe that is 32. And we're done. What questions do we have on doing the Pemdas step? Does everyone see how I use the formula to simplify this? Now, we're not done. We have a handful more examples before I make you practice, okay? Was anyone still writing example A and B, guys? Anyone need more time to write this? Are we okay? All right, here's example C and D. I'm gonna write Pemdas are here in the side so I can do the checklist. I'm gonna give you about 2 minutes to write down example C and D. If you wanna write one example at a time and then simplify, we can do that. So I'll give you 2 minutes. These are still examples, so I'm gonna work them out. I'm just giving you time to write them in your notebook. All right, guys, that was 2 minutes. You're ready for example C? All right. Now remember, it's a little, it helps if you read and talk to me through the steps together. So step 1 for C, we're gonna simplify the inside of the parentheses. So notice how this is the parentheses here. So to simplify that, all we have to do is 8 minus 6. What's 8 minus 6, y'all? Thank you, Nick. It is 2. And it notice how outside the parentheses there's a square. I'm gonna square the 2 as well. Now we're done with with parentheses. Now we have to do step 2, exponents. There's 2 exponents I see, but we know exponents is just repeated multiplication, right? So can someone tell me the value of 2 squared? What is 2 times 2, class? I know it, but do you? Thank you. 4. Can someone tell me what 2 cube is? 2 cube. 2 cube is 2 times 2 times 2. It is 8. Bring down the times 3. So we're done with exponents. What's the third step? It's M and D, right? So that's multiplication or division. Which one am I gonna do first, guys? Am I gonna do 4 plus 8 or 8 times 3 first? What do you think, class?
8
Add
times 3.
8 times 3, correct. What is 8 times 3? I believe that's 24, right? Have I ever make a math mistake, guys? Like I multiply wrong or add wrong? Correct me, please. I'd rather get corrected on the video or with others than last minute, you know? All right, now we did all multiplication division, so now we just have to add and subtract, which is just adding. 4 plus 24 is just what, class? I believe it's 28. And we're done. All right. What questions did we have on C, guys? Are we okay with C? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to D. I'm gonna switch colors. I'm gonna switch to purple. All right, so parentheses. Notice on D, there's 2 sets of parentheses. We have the 10 divided by 2, and then we have the brackets too, like these brackets. Which one do y'all think we should do first? The green or the orange?
Do we do the orange one first? Because then we have to, I think you simplify with the 3 squared.
You're correct. That's good. So what's 10 divided by 2?
5.
5, correct. So we have a 5 here. Bring down the minus and then 3 squared. Can someone tell me what 3 squared is? That is correct, Nick. It is 9. So now bring down the brackets and bring down everything else. Can we simplify the inside of the brackets now? Yeah, right. We just had to do 9 minus 5, which is what, class? What's 9 take away 5?
4.
4.
4.
So then we get 4 cubed plus 4 minus 7 times 3. That's all we did. Everything else is still the same. So we're done with parentheses now. Are there any exponents we have to simplify or evaluate now? Yeah. Can someone tell me what 4 cubed is? 4 cubed. What is that? That's repeated multiplication of 4 times 4 times 4. Can someone tell me what that becomes?
64?
64. That's correct. Now we bring down everything else. All right, so we're done with exponents. Can someone tell me what would be the next step using the checklist from Pemdas? What's after
Um,
exponents?
Oh, sorry. Multiplying
Yeah, multiply which
negative-
ones?
the 7 and 3.
The 7 and 3, which gives us what? 7 times 3, I think that's 21, right? I'm gonna bring down everything else. So now there's no more multiplication. Now to finish this off, we add and subtract from which way to which way?
Left to right.
Left to right. So 64 plus 4 is 68. Minus 21 is 47. And we are done, class. Any questions on what I did on D? I encourage guys, if I write these steps out, I expect you guys to write the steps as well. So that way you can see how I did it and you can do the same when I give you the practice problems. All right, these are the last two examples, and then you're gonna have the last set of practice for this lesson, okay? Here's the last two examples. I'll give you 2 minutes to copy these down before I begin working them out. All right, these are the last two examples, class, last two for this lesson. All right, almost there. Timer's almost up. So look at E. So we're gonna simplify using Pemdas, same thing. I'm gonna write it right here. P, E, M, D with an arrow to the right. A, S with an arrow to the right. This is my checklist. All right, that was my timer for you to write this down. So for E, notice how we have a fraction. We have a top and a bottom. So the way we do the E, we have to simplify the top part of the fraction and the bottom and then divide at the end. So right now we're gonna simplify the top part. So 7 minus 2 times 3 plus 3 squared. There's no parentheses in the top, so we're good. Exponents, we have 3 squared, right? So 3 squared is 3 times 2. I mean, not 3 times 2, 3 times 3, which is 9. I'm gonna bring down everything else. So exponents is done. Now we're gonna multiply, divide from left to right, which is 2 times 3. So we get 7 minus 6 plus 9. And now we add and subtract from left to right. So 7 minus 6 is 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. And that's the simplification for the top. So now we're gonna do the bottom. Bottom is 5 parentheses 2 minus 1. We have to do the parentheses first. P, 2 minus 1 is 1. So it'll be 5 times 1. 5 times 1 is just 5. So now we have the bottom. So we simplify. We have the top 10, the bottom 5. 10 divided by 5 is just 2. And we're done. This is the final answer. Does everyone understand how we simplify fractions with Pemdas? All right, we're on the last example, class. Let's finish off strong. F, are there any parentheses? No, we're done. Any exponents? No, we're done. Multiply, divide from left to right. So which one am I gonna do first, guys? 8 times 2 first or 64 divided by 8? What do you guys think, class? Divide first or multiply first?
Divide 64 and 8.
That is correct, which gives us 8. Bring down everything else. And then we multiply 8 times 2, which is 16. Bring down the plus 4. Add the 16 and 4, which gives us 20. And we are done with the example F. And that's from us doing the steps right here. Multiply, divide. That's what we did. And then we added and subtracted. What questions do we have on Pemdas and the different ways to do it? All right, you guys ready for the practice set? Here are your first, here's the 6 practice problems from Pemdas. Go ahead and number them. And I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 10 minutes on these problems, or I'm gonna start with 5 minutes and then I'll add more time to it if I need more time. While you guys are working on this, I'm gonna go ahead and take attendance, or I'll take attendance after these, after this. I'm gonna take a restroom break, guys. Feel free to take a break as well. If you need to use a restroom, I'll be back, but work on these when you're not busy. I'm back. How's everyone doing? Are you able to get answers on the first couple ones already? Be honest. Good, 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 good.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, which one?
For number 3.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so, oh, actually, you know what? Never mind. I figured it out.
Ooh, okay.
I forgot that there was parentheses.
Ah, okay. No, that happens all the time. As long as you catch it, that's what matters, okay? All right, class, would anyone like an additional 5 minutes for to keep working on these practice problems? Is 5 minutes more good? Do we need more than 5 minutes? Less than 5 minutes? Is 5 minutes okay? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add another 5 minute timer, okay? Just so I know these problems can get a little consuming. And feel free to ask me if you get stuck, guys. This is now college, so you can't just get stuck and not do this and be like, it's whatever. Because if you do not do this in this class and ask for help and try to get this on your own, you will struggle in this class, guys. You need to be very proactive. And I really hope I can instill a safe environment that you feel comfortable to speak up and ask, okay? I love the questions. I don't mind helping you if you need help, you know? Because I can't do this during a test, but I can definitely help you during practice problems and homeworks. Yeah, Chelsea, do you want me to go back for like the couple slides or like from the beginning?
Just for F.
For F? Oh, okay, I got you. 1 second. Here you go, ma'am. If you want to take a picture of it or write it down real quick, let me know when you're good, okay?
Okay.
You can go back to the slides now.
Thank you. All right, guys, that was another 5 minutes. Would anyone in this class need additional time for these 6 problems? Anyone wanna, let's go ahead and go over the answers for each one. So you need more time. How many more minutes would you need? 2 minutes, 3 minutes? 4, 3, okay, 3. All right, after 3 minutes, we'll go ahead and go over the answers of these problems to see how people did. So yeah, 3 more minutes to finish off any problems you have. Remember, these are just like similar to the examples, guys, so make sure you're following your notes, using your notes as a tool. All right, therefore we're good now. Let's go ahead and look at the number one. Would anyone like to share what they got for number one, guys?
I got 25.
25. Let me see. Number 25. Does anyone agree or disagree with 25?
Agree with 25.
Excellent. The answer is correct. Does anyone need me to work? If anyone needs me to work out one of these practice problems because you're stuck or you weren't comfortable with your steps and you want to see me do it, you just gotta ask. Anyone in class need me to work out number one? I'm only gonna do it if anyone asks. I'm not gonna work out all of them because of time. Is everyone comfortable with 25? Everyone got that? Everyone good? Okay, good job. No, 25 is correct. Do I have a volunteer for number two? What they got for number two? Nick-
64.
okay, cool. Nicholas and someone else got 64. Good. Does anyone agree or disagree for 64? If you got 64, guys, the answer was correct. Is there anyone here that needed me to work out 64? I mean, workout number two, anyone? Excellent, guys. Good job, good job. All right. 3 to 6, we're getting a little trickier. Anyone want to share what they got with number three?
I got 99.
99, good. Does anyone agree or disagree with 99? If you guys got 99, the answer is correct. Are there any students who would like me to work out number three, guys? Any students? Okay, number four. Anyone want to share with what they got with number four?
$61.
61. Anyone agree or disagree with 61?
I got 82. I don't think I did it right.
Ah, or 82 is another answer. Okay. Would anyone like me to work this one out?
I got 67. I don't know what I did wrong.
Ah, 67. Interesting. You guys cool if I work it out? All right, let's go ahead and let's take a look at it. I'll move up. I'm gonna move number 6 over here. All right, number 4. Remember the checklist, Pemdas. So PEMDAS. So parentheses, we have 2 parentheses, right? We have the brackets and the parentheses. Which one should we do first? The bracket or the parentheses first?
The parentheses.
Yep, 4 times 2 is what? 8, right? So then we get 20 minus 8, that's in brackets still, and bring down everything else. Do we move on to exponents yet, or do we still have parentheses to simplify?
We still have the parentheses to simplify.
So what's 20 minus 8? At 20 take away 8 is 12, right? So then bring down everything else. So we're down with parentheses. Are there any exponents that we have to evaluate? Yeah, we have 4 cubed. What's 4 cubed, guys? 4 times 4 times 4. What's 4 times 4 times 4?
64.
That is correct. So we have 64. And I'm gonna bring down everything else. Is everyone with me? So we're done with exponents. What's the next step I have to do, class?
Multiply and divide.
Good. So there's no multiply, but I do see dividing here. 36 divided by 12. How many 12s go into 36?
3.
3. Bring down everything else. So we're done with multiplication and division. Now to finish this off, what do we do?
Add or subtract.
Add or subtract from left to right. So we should add first because it's left to right. So this is left. 3 plus 64 is 67 minus 6. And now what's 67 minus 6? 61. Does everyone see how we simplify to 61? Did everyone catch their mistake that didn't get 61?
Yeah, I think I divided wrong.
Ah, okay, there you go. See, good, good, good. As long as you, the biggest thing is if you make a mistake in this class is can you catch yourself from, okay, this is what I did wrong. Okay, I did this wrong. I need to do that carefully. You know, you need to understand where your weaknesses are at so you can work on them. So good job. Okay, good on the ones who got 61. Okay, number 5, guys. What did y'all get for number 5?
I got 7.
Okay, we got 7, so I'm gonna put equals 7. Anyone agree or disagree with number 5 for 7? I mean 7 for number 5. This is the fraction one class. The answer is 7, guys. Does anyone need me to work out number 5, the fraction one? Did someone get something different from 7? Okay. Last call. All right, anyone for number 6, guys?
$23.
23. The last one, someone got 23. Anyone agree or disagree with this one? Excellent. If you got 23, you are correct for number 6. Does anyone need me to work out any of these 6 practice problems before we move on? All right. Let me see where we're at. All right, and then we're gonna move on to 1.8 now, but I'm gonna go ahead and stop here real quick so I can take attendance. Ah, there you go. No, you're good, as long as you figured it out. I'm gonna go ahead and take attendance real quick, guys. I'm gonna stop sharing. And then let me take attendance. Okay, attendance. And then you have to unmute, please unmute yourself and tell me here or type it in the chat that you're here, either or, okay? And I'm gonna need some help pronouncing some names. My goal is not to butcher it, but I would like some help. The first one is it Montana? Or is it Montana Cuevas or Montaña?
Montana.
Montana? Okay, thank you. Pedro Espinosa. No, Pedro. Timothy. Timothy Gonzalez.
I'm here.
And then the next one is it Kaya or Chaya?
Kaya?
Oh, Kaya. See, I gotta write the first one. Okay, cool. Kaya.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Kaya. Nicholas.
Nice to meet you.
Nicholas Harrison. Is Nicholas Harrison online? I think you would chat. Yeah, you were there. Nick, you there, Nick? Yesenia?
Here.
Excellent. Chelsea?
Here.
Good. Gabriel? Gabriel? Gabby, I see that you're here. Prefer Gabby. I got you, Gabby. Megan? No, Megan. Damien? Damien, you there, buddy?
Yes, I'm there. My computer went wrong. Something went wrong with my
No, you're good, sir. You're good. I'm just doing attendance. Noel?
Here.
Okay, good. Thank you, Noel. Genevieve?
Here.
Thank you. Genesis?
Here.
Good. Matthew Reyna is not here. Jacob is not here. Is it Adeli?
It's Adelaide.
Adelaide. Okay, Adelaide. Okay, I got it. And then Stephanie? No, not here. Okay, and that was attendance. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and stop. Oh, dude, I did attendance on recording. It's awkward.